Welcome everybody to Forza Motorsport 7, and today we're taking a look at the 2005 Subaru Legacy B4 2-litre GT. Now this is part of the fourth generation of the Subaru Legacy that was produced between 2003 and 2009, though the Legacy name via Subaru dates back all the way to 1989 and is still in use to this day. In fact, the 7th generation was announced this year. And yeah, you could get it in a 4-door saloon like this or a 5-door estate. It was only available with all-wheel drive, had a variety of engines from the 2-litre naturally aspirated flat 4 to a naturally aspirated 3-litre flat 6, and yeah, this version of the car comes with a 5-speed manual, and yeah, I really like this car. It's easily one of my favourite sports saloons, not only on this game but in real life in general, because it's got a lot going for it, not just in terms of engineering underneath, with the all-wheel drive system, really good brakes, solid suspension, not much in the way of weight either at £3,153, but it's also really rather nice looking. Now, granted, I prefer the look of the front and the side profile to the back. I feel like the back is a little bit too plain. But yeah, it's still got plenty going for it. Really nice wheels. I like the hood scoop on the bonnet. I like the look of it at the front. And yeah, it's also got twin exhausts at the back. So yeah, overall a really rather nice looking vehicle. But what I really like about it in terms of looks is the fact it's really quite unassuming. Apart from the hood scoop, there's really nothing here to insinuate that this is a performance vehicle, which I quite like, because a lot of performance vehicles nowadays are all show off and, all show off and no go, whereas this does the talking via its performance and yeah, in terms of what it can do in terms of handling. So yeah, and a big part of that is down to the engine. Now, I did say that there was a 2-litre naturally aspirated flat 4 engine available with this car, but you could also get this 2-litre turbocharged flat 4 engine, which produced 276 horsepower and 253 pounds-feet of torque, which, granted, might not seem as much as some of the more high-end sports saloons, like EM5 or your Audis and the like, but because this weighs very little in the first place, and has plenty of torque to go with that horsepower, it means that it's yeah, a properly quick vehicle, far quicker than you'd expect a car like this to be. And yeah, considering it's not an Impreza or any other kind of sporty car with assuming looks, it's yeah, far better than you would visually see make it look like, because yeah, doesn't look like anything that, like I said, that's going to be all that quick, but it sure is. And yeah, I like that unassuming nature to it. And on the whole, it's a really rather practical car as well. As you can see, plenty of space in the back, plenty of space in the boot, and as you probably can tell, this is a Japanese version of the car, as it's right-hand drive and also has kilometres an hour on the speedometer. But yeah, really rather nice looking car inside as well, and everything you could expect, but not overloaded with stuff to make it far too heavy, which at the end of the day would spoil the performance and the handling. Speaking of performance and handling, nonetheless, let's get out onto the track and see what it can do. So we're at Virginia International Raceway for a couple of laps, so yeah, let's see what this Japanese sports saloon can do. Now, Japan's not completely well known for sports saloons, but this is easily one of the best they've produced, and yeah, like I said, a lot of that is down to what is underneath. It brakes really well, the suspension's pretty good, usable on the road, but even on a track it's not too floppy or anything like that, so you can really stick it in. And because you've got that all-wheel drive system, all that horsepower and torque is manageable, and the engine's pretty decently high revving, more than 7,000 RPM. And even though it does have a turbocharger, it's not a turbocharger that overwhelms the engine itself, which, despite being only a 2-litre flat 4, is pretty remarkable, because yeah, a lot of engines these days have turbochargers and on small engines, and it's a turbocharger that's really making a lot of the power and not the engine itself, whereas this seems to be a little bit more of a happy balance. And yeah, all of that power is not put to waste, because obviously it doesn't weigh all that much. Weighs a lot less than your German or even British rivals. Certainly a lot less than your American rivals from around the same time. And yeah, as a result, performance is really on the nose. Like I said earlier, far better than you would expect from a vehicle that looks like this. As like I said before, it's really rather unassuming. It's not got any big spoilers. It's only got 2 exhausts. It's not got any front splitters. And outside of the front hood, that's the only thing that really gives it away. And yeah, acceleration really does make this really one of the more sleeper sports saloons on this game. As you can do 0 to 60 in 5.042 seconds, 0 to 100 in 13.941 seconds, and going to a top speed of 168 miles an hour. That 0 to 60 time is pretty incredible for a 2005 car, especially for one that has less than 300 horsepower. Because yeah, this car goes a lot quicker than the numbers would suggest. Because yeah, not many cars with less than 300 horsepower could get to that kind of 0 to 60 time. Now, granted, the 0 to 100 time isn't brilliant, but yeah, it's more than capable. And yeah, at the end of the day, this car is more than just about straight line speed. Because yeah, the handling is really rather fun. The all-wheel drive system really does, you know, aid in that handling and controllability of the power. And it means that you can really be quite rough with it, and it will just respond easily. And it won't really fight back. And yeah, you can have fun with it if you want, but yeah, more likely to get a lot more enjoyment out of it by taking it a little bit more seriously. Because yeah, at the end of the day, it isn't a rear-wheel drive car; it's an all-wheel drive one, and yeah, that promotes grip, promotes controllability and stability, which at the end of the day is where this car succeeds best. And unlike your Audis, which also have all-wheel drive, it doesn't have some great big lumping V8 up front, way up front in fact, towards the headlights, meaning that it doesn't understeer quite as much as an Audi would. Now, granted, it does understeer if you push it too much, like I just did there, but yeah, it doesn't understeer anywhere near as much as Audis from the time. So yeah, you can drive it with a bit more confidence and a little bit more vigour than you would be able to in an Audi. So yeah, I really like this car, and it's a big shame that it's not on Forza Horizon 4, even though there is an AI version of this that does drive around, which just seems a bit nonsensical really, to have an AI non-drivable version going around the map when you know, clearly have the model here in this game to use. Because yeah, more than deserves to be enjoyed on, not on just on that game, but on this game as well, and hopefully future Forza games as well. Because yeah, for my money, this is easily one of the most underrated Subarus on any Forza game really. Because a lot of people instantly go for the Impreza, because that's pretty much Subaru's most well-known car. But for my money, this is my favourite Subaru, especially in terms of the ones that we've had on the game. Now, I would like the either the Outback or the station wagon estate version of this, as yeah, that would be really rather fun. Which kind of plays into a suggestion I've had for a long time, that cars on these games should be treated like an options list more than just an individual car, and that's it, outside of a few visual upgrades. Because then you could have the 3 litre flat 6 if you wanted, or the station wagon version of this car with this engine, which would spice up the game no end. But yeah, I do hope we get some more Subarus in a future Forza game, and hopefully this is included in them, because yeah, it's a cracking sports saloon, and yeah, clearly underrated in comparison to the more well-known sports saloons from the time, like the M5 or an Audi RS. So yeah, great car, and if you've never driven it before, try it. It'll surprise you, because yeah, it certainly surprised me when I first drove it, because I just judged it by its looks and thought it wasn't going to be that much in terms of drivability, but yeah, it's far more fun than you'd expect it to be, and far quicker than it would ever look as well. So yeah, try it if you haven't, and you will be undoubtedly surprised. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.